Yeah, so my name's Charlie Lees. I'm a gastroenterologist here in Edinburgh, in the Edinburgh IBD unit, based mostly at the Western General Hospital. I'm also Professor of Gastroenterology here at the University of Edinburgh, based in the Centre for Genomics and Experimental Medicine, which is within the Institute of Genetics and Cancer building, also on the Western General campus. Yeah, so I'm a gastroenterologist. What does that mean? Well, I'm a medical doctor, I'm a physician, but I look after people who have complaints of the gastrointestinal tract. Actually, gastroenterology is slightly broader because it's everything from mouth through stomach, through the intestines, through to the anus, but it's also liver and pancreas and the biliary system. But I'm a luminal gastroenterologist, so anything that involves the gut lumen. So that's the hollow tube that runs continuously from our mouth through to our anus. One of the things that I've become very interested in is what actually will influence how an individual behaves over time. And this interest in environmental factors, including the diet, was driven by sitting in the clinic week after week, listening to my patients telling me their concerns. And one of the commonest questions that we would have is, what should I eat? What can I do to help get better or stay better? You know, how should I live? What medicines should I take, obviously, but also what should I eat? And for a long time, we have not had a good answer to that question, and we still don't. And so about 5 years ago now, I set up this big cohort study called PREDICT, which sat out to answer this, where we've recruited now over 2,500 individuals with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis from about 45 different centres, adult and paediatric, across Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, to look at the diet and the microbiome, as well as genetics and other clinical and lifestyle factors in individuals who are well at recruitment. And the rationale behind that is that we know that inflammation influences the microbiome. We know that when people are unwell, they tend to adjust what they eat, actually. So the idea is have it level when someone is well, and then follow them over time. And this is the most important thing, and actually the most difficult thing. So follow them over time, and then look to see what's different at baseline, particularly in the diet and the microbiome, in those people that have flares of their disease compared to those people that don't. And so we're hoping, and we'll have the data from this later on this year, we'll be able to start to unpick what elements of food, what signatures in the microbiome are associated with and predict disease flare over time. So then we can go back to individuals in the clinic when they say, what should I eat? And give them some additional information. So right now, when someone asks me in the clinic, what should I eat? I say to them, look, we don't really know, but from everything that we've looked at so far, my advice is to eat something akin to a Mediterranean style diet. So eating mostly and cooking mostly from fresh. Don't eat too much animal protein, but you don't have to eliminate it, and try to avoid as much processed foods as possible. So that's our sort of starting point. And we know that that's associated with good, healthy living outcomes anyway. It's not, there is an important caveat here, which is it's not that simple, right? Because actually, if you look across Scotland and the United Kingdom and many parts of the world, cooking skills and know-how are quite low, or they're not uniform at all. So one has to be very mindful that you can't just say to someone, go and eat a Mediterranean style diet. They may not have the skills or the knowledge, and they may also not have the financial means, or both actually often. It doesn't need to be expensive, but you need to know what you're doing, I think. So that's a very important caveat from that point of view.